Welcome, weary traveller through the mists of time. I'm so glad you could join me on this journey into the shadowy corners of history, where mysteries linger like phantoms in the night. As we embark on this voyage together, I invite you to get comfortable, perhaps nestled beneath a cozy blanket or resting upon a soft pillow. Wherever you may be listening from, whether it's morning, afternoon, or late into the evening, I'm honoured to have you here with me. If you enjoy exploring the fascinating depths of the past through quiet, immersive storytelling like this, I warmly encourage you to subscribe. There are so many captivating tales waiting to be told, each one a soothing lullaby from long ago. And I'd love to know where in the world you're joining me from and what time of day it is for you right now. Feel free to leave a comment and share a little bit about your corner of the globe. But for now, let us take a deep breath and allow ourselves to slip gently into the realm of history. Tonight, we'll be venturing into the Middle Ages, a time that looms large in our imaginations, an era of grand castles and pious monasteries, of chivalrous knights and ruthless kings. But beneath the surface of this world, whispers of dark enigmas echo through time, mysteries that have never been fully unraveled. In the flickering candlelight of this distant age, we'll encounter tales of vanished princes and haunted towers, of unexplained apparitions and perplexing fates. These are the stories that have confounded scholars and inspired legends for centuries, the ones that leave us lying awake in the dark, pondering the unknowable. But fear not, for we'll tread carefully through this misty landscape, taking time to savour each strange tale and ponder its depths without losing ourselves entirely. Think of me as your gentle guide, a fellow wanderer in the fog of history, here to navigate these eerie accounts with a spirit of wonder rather than dread. So let us begin, as all good stories do, with Once Upon a Time. The year was 1483, and England was a realm divided. The Wars of the Roses had been raging for decades, pitting the noble houses of York and Lancaster against each other in a bitter struggle for the crown. The air hummed with intrigue and shifting alliances, the very ground beneath one's feet seeming to tremble with uncertainty. It was into this precarious world that young Edward V ascended to the throne at the tender age of 12. The eldest son of the late King Edward IV, he was a mere child, untested and vulnerable. But his reign, like his life, was destined to be tragically brief, cut short by the murky machinations of power. Not long after his coronation, Edward and his younger brother Richard were taken into the custody of their uncle, Richard, Duke of Gloucester. The boys were conveyed to the Tower of London, ostensibly for their own protection in those turbulent times. But as the heavy doors of the tower swung shut behind them, they were swallowed up by an impenetrable mystery that endures to this day. For you see, after that fateful summer of 1483, neither Edward nor Richard were ever seen again. The princes simply vanished from the pages of history, their fates a blank space where a future should have been. In the years that followed, whispers and rumours swirled like a relentless English fog. Tales of dark deeds and secret murders, of innocence betrayed and power seized. But the truth of what happened to the lost princes remains elusive, an answer forever hidden in the shadows of the past. Their disappearance is one of the great unsolved mysteries of the Middle Ages, a cold case that has haunted historians and storytellers for over 500 years. In the absence of clear facts, theories and suspicions have flourished like weeds in a neglected garden. Many have pointed the finger of blame squarely at the prince's uncle, Richard of Gloucester, who was crowned King Richard III not long after the boys were last seen. The argument goes that Richard had the most to gain from their demise, as it cleared his path to the throne. Certainly, Richard had a reputation for ruthlessness and cunning, a man who was no stranger to the dark arts of power. Some accounts even claim that he had a withered arm and a crooked back. as if his very body bore the marks of a twisted soul. But others argue that this sinister portrait is mere Tudor propaganda, a smear campaign designed to tarnish the last Plantagenet king. Other suspects have been put forward over the years, from the boy's own mother, Elizabeth Woodville, to King Henry VII, who took the throne after Richard's death in battle. Each theory has its own tantalizing scraps of evidence and logic, but none can claim to be definitive. Perhaps the most haunting aspect of the prince's disappearance is the fact that no bodies were ever found. In 1674, nearly 2 centuries after they vanished, workmen at the Tower of London discovered a small wooden box containing the skeletons of 2 children. Could these be the earthly remains of Edward and Richard, hidden away in a forgotten corner of their final prison? We may never know for certain. The bones, now interred in Westminster Abbey, offer no clear answers, only more questions. And so the princes linger in the realm of legend and conjecture, forever young and forever lost. Their story is a reminder of the capricious cruelty of power in the Middle Ages, of the way that even the mightiest could be brought low by treachery and ambition. But it is also a tale that speaks to the enduring human fascination with mystery, with the unknown and the unknowable. For as long as we have told stories, we have been drawn to the blank spaces in the narrative, the unresolved puzzles that gnaw at our imaginations. And in the case of the princes in the tower, that allure has only grown stronger with the passing of centuries. Even now, in the modern age of science and reason, there are those who continue to pore over the scant evidence, hoping to uncover some vital clue that will unlock the truth at last. But perhaps the real power of this mystery lies not in its solution, but in its very existence, in the way it invites us to ponder the depths of human nature and the strange twists of history. So let us linger for a moment longer in the shadow of the tower, listening for the ghostly whispers of the lost princes. And as we drift off to sleep, let us dream of a world where even the darkest mysteries may one day be illuminated by the gentle light of understanding. But the princes in the tower were not the only ones to meet a perplexing end in the annals of medieval history. Across the sea in France, another royal figure was destined to become the stuff of enduring legend and speculation. Her name was Charlotte of France, and she was the daughter of King Charles VII, born into a world of privilege and power in the 15th century. Beautiful and headstrong, Charlotte was a woman who knew her own mind and pursued her own desires, even when they ran counter to the strict conventions of her time. It was this very quality that would lead her down a path of scandal and tragedy, one that still echoes through the halls of French castles to this day. For Charlotte had fallen in love with a man far below her station, a mere kitchen servant named Pierre, employed in her father's court. Such a romance was utterly forbidden in the rigid hierarchy of medieval society, where the boundaries between classes were as solid as stone walls. But Charlotte and Pierre were consumed by a passion that could not be denied, meeting in secret whenever they could steal a moment away from prying eyes. Their love affair might have remained a hidden thing, a whispered piece of court gossip, had it not been for a shocking discovery one fateful night. For a servant, passing by Charlotte's bedchamber, heard cries of distress and burst in to find a scene of unimaginable horror. There, lying in a pool of blood, were the lifeless bodies of Charlotte and Pierre, their throats slit from ear to ear. The princess was sprawled across her bed, her once beautiful face frozen in a rictus of terror, and Pierre lay crumpled on the floor beside her, his hand still reaching out towards his lover in a final, futile gesture. The crime sent shockwaves through the court and the country, as people struggled to comprehend how such a thing could have happened within the very walls of the royal palace. Who could have committed such a vicious act, and for what purpose? Suspicion immediately fell upon Charlotte's husband, a nobleman named Jacques de Brézé. It was well known that the marriage had been an unhappy one, with Jacques infamous for his cruelty and jealousy. Had he discovered the affair and flown into a murderous rage, determined to punish his wife and her lover for their betrayal? But Jacques had an unshakable alibi for the night in question, having been away from the castle on a hunting trip with several witnesses to vouch for his whereabouts. And so the investigation turned to other possible suspects, from jilted suitors to political rivals with grudges to bear. Yet despite an extensive inquiry, no definitive evidence could be found to link anyone to the crime. The murder weapon, a bloody dagger, was discovered in the castle gardens, but it bore no fingerprints or identifying marks. Servants were questioned and re-questioned, but none could shed any light on the mystery. And so, as the weeks turned to months and the trail grew ever colder, the case of Charlotte and Pierre's murder began to fade from public consciousness, becoming just another dark legend in the annals of French history. But the ghost of the star-crossed lovers, it is said, still haunts the halls of the castle to this day. According to local legend, on certain moonlit nights, the figure of a woman in a blood-stained white gown can be seen wandering the corridors, her mournful cries echoing through the ancient stones. And sometimes, if you listen very carefully, you can hear the faint whisper of a man's voice, calling out Charlotte's name in an endless, anguished refrain. Of course, such tales are the stuff of folklore and superstition, the product of generations of embellishment and imagination. But they speak to the enduring power of mystery, the way that an unsolved crime can take on a life of its own in the collective consciousness. For Charlotte and Pierre, their story has become a symbol of the perils of forbidden love, of the cruel twists of fate that can tear even the most passionate of unions asunder. And though the truth of their deaths may be forever lost to history, their memory lingers on, a testament to the strange and tragic mysteries that haunt the medieval world. As we lose ourselves in the soft embrace of sleep, let us spare a thought for these ill-fated lovers, cut down in the very flower of their youth, and let us ponder, too, the many secrets that the past still holds, the untold stories that wait like hidden treasure for those with the patience and the curiosity to seek them out. The Middle Ages may seem like a distant and alien world to us now, a time of superstition and brutality and strange, inexplicable events. But the more we delve into its shadowy corners, the more we come to realize that the people who lived and loved and died in those long ago centuries were not so very different from ourselves. They too were driven by the same basic human desires and fears, the same longing for connection and meaning in a world that could be harsh and unpredictable. And they too were haunted by the mysteries that surrounded them, the unanswerable questions that tugged at the edges of their understanding. In a way, perhaps, that is the true legacy of these unsolved medieval crimes and disappearances. Not the gory details or the sensational theories, but the simple reminder of our shared humanity across the vast gulf of time. For as long as we have walked this earth, we have been drawn to the unknown, to the blank spaces on the map of our knowledge. And though the specifics of these cases may be lost to us now, their essence lives on in the stories we tell and the questions we ask, in the enduring human need to make sense of the world and our place within it. So as we drift off into the welcoming depths of slumber, let us carry with us a sense of connection to those long ago souls, a feeling of kinship that transcends the centuries. And let us dream, perhaps, of a world where even the darkest mysteries may one day be brought into the light, where the secrets of the past may finally be laid to rest. But for now, we'll simply let these ancient tales wash over us like a gentle tide, carrying us off to a place of rest and wondering. And as we do, I invite you to ponder your own thoughts on these enduring enigmas, to let your mind wander down the misty paths of history and speculation. Perhaps you have your own theories about what really happened to the princes in the tower, or who was behind the murder of Charlotte and Pierre. Or maybe these stories have simply sparked your curiosity about the many other mysteries that lie waiting to be discovered in the annals of the Middle Ages. Whatever your musings may be, I encourage you to hold them gently as you slip into the realm of dreams, to let them be a source of inspiration rather than anxiety or unease. For that, in the end, is the true gift of these strange and haunting tales. The way they invite us to look at the world with fresh eyes, to see the glimmer of wonder and possibility that lurks beneath the surface of even the darkest moments in history. So thank you, dear listener, for joining me on this journey into the shadows of the medieval world. I hope that these stories have brought you a sense of peace and intrigue, a feeling of connection to the great tapestry of human experience that stretches out behind us. And I hope too that they will be a gentle companion to you in the quiet hours of the night, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always a glimmer of light to be found, a mystery waiting to be unraveled. Until next time then, I bid you a fond good night. May your dreams be filled with the soft glow of ancient castles and the distant strains of minstrel songs, with the whispered secrets of ages past and the promise of wonders yet to come. Sleep well, my friend, and know that the mysteries of history will be waiting for you when you awake, ready to be explored anew in the gentle light of dawn. As the sun dips below the horizon and the candles flicker to life, casting dancing shadows on stone walls, we find ourselves transported back to the enigmatic realm of the Middle Ages. In this time of superstition, brutality, and dark secrets, countless mysteries have been lost to the mists of history, forever eluding explanation. Tonight, as we prepare to drift off into gentle slumber, we'll explore a few of these tantalizing enigmas that continue to haunt us from centuries past. Picture a tranquil French village in the 15th century, nestled amidst rolling hills and lush vineyards. Chateau de Brissac stood proud and elegant, a grand testament to the wealth and prestige of the noble family who called it home. But behind its stately facade, the chateau harbored a chilling secret, a grisly double murder that would spawn ghostly legends persisting to the present day. It was a scandal that rocked the very foundations of French aristocracy. Charlotte of France, the beautiful daughter of King Charles VII, had taken up residence in the chateau with her new husband, Jacques de Brézy. A cultured and spirited woman, Charlotte quickly grew bored and lonely in the isolated estate, far from the vibrant court life she adored. Yearning for passion and excitement, she began a clandestine affair with one of her huntsmen, Pierre de la Vergne. For a time, Charlotte and Pierre's love blossomed in stolen moments and furtive glances, a dangerous game of deception played right under the noses of the chateau's inhabitants. But secrets have a way of unraveling, and it wasn't long before whispers of the illicit liaison reached the ears of Charlotte's husband, Jacques. One fateful night, consumed by rage and jealousy, Jacques burst into Charlotte's bedchamber, sword in hand. There he found his wife entwined in the arms of her lover, their naked forms illuminated by the flickering firelight. In a fit of uncontrollable fury, Jacques ran them both through with his blade, their anguished screams echoing through the halls before fading into eerie silence. The gruesome scene that greeted the servants the next morning would be forever seared into the chateau's lore. Charlotte and Pierre's blood-soaked bodies lay motionless on the bed, their faces frozen in expressions of terror and surprise. Jacques was nowhere to be found, having fled the scene of his brutal crime, never to be seen again. In the centuries that followed, whispers began to circulate of a restless spirit wandering the halls of Chateau de Brissac, a tragic, weeping figure believed to be the ghost of Charlotte herself. Visitors spoke of hearing her mournful sobs echoing through the corridors at night, and some even claimed to have caught a glimpse of her pale form, clad in a blood-stained white dress. To this day, The double murder at Château de Brissac remains one of France's most haunting unsolved mysteries. The true fate of Jacques de Brézé after that bloody night is lost to history, and Charlotte's ghost is said to still roam the castle, forever seeking the justice and peace that eluded her in life. As we lay our heads down to rest, we can only imagine the secrets those ancient stones could reveal, if only they could speak. But Charlotte's tale is far from the only dark enigma to emerge from the mists of the medieval world. Our journey through history's most perplexing mysteries has only just begun. As the night deepens and our eyelids grow heavy, let us allow our minds to wander back in time once more, to a quaint English village with an otherworldly secret buried in its very soil. Woolpit was an unassuming hamlet like any other in the 12th century, its inhabitants toiling in the fields and living out their humble lives with nary a thought for the world beyond. But one summer's day, as the sun beat down upon the ripening crops, the villagers stumbled upon a sight that would forever alter the course of their sleepy existence. There, at the edge of a field, sat two small children, a boy and a girl, both with skin a mesmerizing shade of green. The villagers approached with caution, marveling at the strange hue of the children's flesh and the unusual garments they wore. When the young pair opened their mouths to speak, the onlookers were stunned to hear a language they had never encountered before, musical and lilting and utterly foreign. Unsure what to make of these mysterious green children, the villagers took them in and attempted to integrate them into their community. The boy, sickly and frail, soon succumbed to illness and passed away. But the girl, whom they christened Agnes, thrived and grew into a young woman, gradually losing the viridescent tint to her skin. She learned to speak English, though she would never fully shed the accent of her native tongue. As Agnes acclimated to life in Woolpit, she began to share fragmented details of her past. A past that only deepened the mystery surrounding her origins. She spoke of a land where the sun never shone, where all the inhabitants were green like her and her brother. She described a realm of twilight, a place neither fully of this world nor entirely apart from it. Theories abounded as to the true nature of Agnes and her deceased sibling. Some believed them to be the offspring of the fairy folk, changelings swapped for human infants in a mischievous game. Others whispered that they were the last survivors of a long-lost race, refugees from a forgotten underground kingdom. A few even murmured of stranger things, of children snatched from the future and cast back through time, or of visitors from a distant star, stranded on our planet by some cosmic accident. But despite the endless speculation, the truth behind the green children of Woolpit remains an enigma, their origins forever shrouded in the mists of legend. Agnes lived out her days in the village, marrying a local man and assimilating into the rhythms of medieval life. Yet even as she grew old and grey, there was always a hint of otherworldliness about her, a glimmer of the strange and inexplicable that set her apart from her neighbours. As we drift deeper into the realm of dreams, the image of those emerald-skinned children lingers in our minds, a haunting reminder of the mysteries that lie just beyond the veil of our understanding. The green children of Woolpit are but one thread in the rich tapestry of unsolved enigmas woven throughout the Middle Ages, a time when the boundaries between the mundane and the supernatural were far more porous than they are today. The medieval world was a place of shadows and secrets, where the lines between truth and myth blurred like ink on parchment. Kings and peasants alike whispered of divine visions and ghostly apparitions, of curses and prophecies and things that lurked in the darkness just beyond the firelight. It was an age steeped in superstition and fear, where the unexplained was often attributed to the workings of God or the devil, and where the most enduring mysteries were those that defied any earthly explanation. One such mystery that has long captured the imaginations of historians and amateur sleuths alike is the baffling disappearance of two young princes in the Tower of London. The year was 1483, and England was a nation divided, torn apart by the bitter dynastic struggles of the Wars of the Roses. The crown had recently passed to the 12-year-old Edward V, but his reign was to be short-lived, cut brutally short by the machinations of his own uncle, Richard, Duke of Gloucester. Richard, a cunning and ambitious man, had his eye on the throne, and he wasted no time in consolidating his power. Under the pretext of protecting the young king from supposed threats to his safety, Richard had Edward and his younger brother, 9-year-old Richard, Duke of York, taken into custody and confined to the Tower of London. It was a move that sent shockwaves through the court and the country, for the Tower was known as a place of dark deeds and darker fates, where royal blood was all too often spilled. At first, life in the Tower seemed to carry on as normal for the two princes. They were seen playing in the courtyard, waving to the crowds that gathered beyond the walls to catch a glimpse of their beloved king in waiting. But as the weeks stretched into months, the boys made fewer and fewer public appearances, until at last they vanished from sight altogether, never to be seen alive again. Rumours swirled through the streets of London, whispers of foul play and sinister schemes. Some said that the princes had been murdered on their uncle's orders, their bodies buried in a secret grave within the tower's walls. Others claimed that they had been spirited away to safety, hidden somewhere beyond Richard's reach until they could come of age and reclaim their rightful throne. But as the years passed and no trace of the princes ever surfaced, the truth behind their disappearance became one of the most enduring mysteries in English history. Did Richard, driven by his lust for power, have his own nephews put to death in cold blood? Or were the boys the victims of some other, unknown fate, their lives cut short by a conspiracy that has eluded detection for centuries? The question has haunted generations of historians and fiction writers, spawning countless theories and inspiring works of art that have kept the prince's tragic tale alive in the public imagination. But despite the best efforts of countless investigators and the tantalizing clues left behind in contemporary accounts, the ultimate truth of what happened to Edward V and his brother Richard remains elusive, a ghost story without an ending. It's a mystery that speaks to the darkest aspects of human nature, to the lengths that some will go to in their quest for power and control. In an age where life was often brutish and short, the idea of two innocent children falling victim to the machinations of a ruthless uncle is a chilling reminder of the cruelty and violence that lurked just beneath the surface of medieval society. But it's also a mystery that has captured our imaginations for centuries, precisely because it defies any easy answers or tidy explanations. Like so many of the unsolved enigmas that haunt the pages of history, the fate of the princes in the tower invites us to ponder the unknown, to grapple with the shadows that lie beyond the reach of our understanding. As we let ourselves sink deeper into the welcoming embrace of sleep, the image of those two young boys lingers in our minds, their faces forever frozen in time, their fates forever shrouded in secrecy. They are a reminder of the countless untold stories that lie buried in the past, the mysteries that will forever elude our grasp, no matter how hard we seek to unravel them. And yet, there is something strangely comforting in the knowledge that even in our modern age of science and reason, the world still holds on to its secrets, its pockets of the unexplained and the inexplicable. For it is in the contemplation of these mysteries that we catch a glimpse of something larger than ourselves, a sense of the vast and unfathomable depths of human experience across the ages. As our minds drift ever closer to the realm of dreams, let us take a moment to ponder one last unsolved mystery from the annals of medieval history. A tale of innocence lost and lives cut tragically short, of a young queen whose brief reign ended in sorrow and bloodshed. The year was 1553, and England was once again in the grip of political turmoil. The young King Edward VI, son of Henry VIII, had died at the age of just 15, leaving the succession in a precarious state. On his deathbed, Edward had named his cousin, Lady Jane Grey, as his heir, bypassing his half-sisters Mary and Elizabeth in a bid to ensure a Protestant monarch on the throne. But Mary, a devout Catholic with a strong claim to the crown, was not about to let her birthright slip away so easily. With the support of powerful allies, she quickly mustered an army and marched on London, determined to seize the throne by force if necessary. Faced with this show of strength, Jane's supporters melted away, leaving the teenage queen defenseless and alone. For 9 short days, Jane had reigned as Queen of England, a pawn in the great game of dynastic politics. But now, as Mary's forces closed in, she found herself a prisoner in the very palace where she had so recently held court. Confined to the Tower of London, Jane could only wait and pray as her fate was decided by the whims of her enemies. In the end, Mary proved to be a merciful captor, sparing Jane's life even as she stripped her of her crown and titles. But Jane's reprieve was to be short-lived. Just a few months later, a Protestant rebellion broke out in the countryside, and Mary, paranoid and mistrustful, saw treachery in every shadow. Convinced that Jane was a threat to her rule, she ordered the young queen to be put on trial for high treason. The trial was a farce, a mere formality before the inevitable verdict. Jane, just 16 years old, was found guilty and sentenced to death. On a cold February morning in 1554, she was led out to the Tower Green, where a scaffold had been erected for her execution. With quiet dignity, Jane faced her fate, kneeling before the block and commending her soul to God. A single stroke of the axe, and it was over. The tragic end to a life cut brutally short by the tides of history. But even in death, Jane's story was not quite over. For centuries after her execution, rumors persisted that the young queen had left behind a secret child, spirited away to safety in the chaos of her downfall. Some claimed that this child had been raised in obscurity, living out their days as a humble peasant, while others whispered of a hidden line of claimants to the English throne, waiting for the right moment to step out of the shadows and seize their birthright. Of course, there has never been any concrete evidence to support these rumors, and most historians dismiss them as mere legend, the product of centuries of myth-making and romantic fancy. But the idea of a lost heir to the 9-day queen has proven endlessly captivating to generations of storytellers and dreamers, a reminder of the enduring power of mystery and imagination. As we finally let ourselves slip into the waiting arms of sleep, Jane's enigmatic tale fades into the mists of history, joining the countless other unsolved mysteries that have haunted the medieval world for centuries. These are the stories that continue to captivate us across the ages, the tales of lives cut short, of secrets taken to the grave, of questions that may never find their answers. But perhaps that is what makes these mysteries so endlessly fascinating. The fact that they defy explanation, that they hint at something more, something just beyond the veil of our understanding, in a world that often feels all too explainable, all too rational and mundane. These enigmas remind us of the wonder and strangeness that still lurk at the edges of our existence, waiting to be discovered by those with the curiosity and the courage to seek them out. So let us embrace the unknown, the unsolved, the eternally mysterious. Let us allow ourselves to be drawn into the dark and tangled web of history, to lose ourselves in the tales of those who came before us and whose lives were touched by the same shadows and secrets that continue to haunt us today. For it is in the contemplation of these mysteries that we catch a glimpse of something timeless and universal, a sense of the enduring human need to grapple with the unknown and to find meaning in the face of the ineffable. As we drift off into the realm of dreams, let us carry with us the stories of the lost princes, the emerald-skinned children, the weeping ghost, and the 9-day queen. Let their mysteries be a reminder of the vastness and complexity of the human experience, and of the countless untold tales that lie waiting to be discovered in the shadowed corners of the past. And perhaps, in the quiet depths of sleep, we may yet find some hint of an answer, some whisper of a truth that has eluded us for so long. But even if we do not, there is a strange and quiet comfort in knowing that these mysteries endure, that they will be waiting for us when we awaken, ready to be pondered anew in the light of another day. For in the end, it is the very elusiveness of these enigmas that makes them so precious, so endlessly captivating. They are a reminder that even in an age of science and reason, there is still magic in the world, still secrets waiting to be unraveled in the mists of time. And as long as there are mysteries to be explored, to be dreamed about in the dark hours of the night, then the human spirit will always have something to strive for, something to reach towards in the face of the unknown. So let us embrace the unsolved and the unexplained, the ghostly and the strange. Let us allow ourselves to be drawn into the timeless dance of mystery and imagination, to be lulled to sleep by the whispered secrets of ages past. And in our dreams, let us wander those shadowed halls and mist-shrouded moors, seeking out the truth that lies just beyond our grasp, forever tantalizingly close, and yet forever just out of reach. For in the end, it is the pursuit of mystery that makes us human, that gives our lives depth and meaning and wonder in a world that is all too often cold and hard and unyielding. As you drift off into the realm of sleep, let your mind be filled with the echoes of centuries past, with the whispers of the lost and the forgotten. Let yourself be carried away on a journey through time and shadow, through the winding corridors of history and the misty borderlands of legend. And may you find, in the depths of your dreaming, a sense of connection to all those who have come before, all those who have grappled with the same mysteries and enigmas that continue to haunt us to this day. For in the end, we are all part of the same great tapestry, all threads woven together in the vast Anne. The enigmatic tale of the green children of Woolpit has captivated imaginations for centuries. Picture a small, peaceful village nestled in the countryside of 12th century Suffolk, England. The rhythms of rural life beat a steady, predictable pulse as farmers tend their fields and shepherds watch over grazing flocks beneath wide, quiet skies. But one fateful day, an otherworldly encounter would shatter the tranquility of Woolpit, sending reverberations through history that still puzzle us today. It was during the chaotic reign of King Stephen, as battles raged for the English crown, that the bewildered villagers of Woolpit spotted two peculiar figures near the mouth of a deep wolf pit. At first glance, they appeared to be ordinary children, a boy and a girl, perhaps abandoned or lost. But as the villagers cautiously approached, they realized these were no common foundlings. The youngsters wore unusual, finely made clothing of unfamiliar materials. Most startlingly of all, their skin was tinged a distinct shade of green, as if they'd been dipped in emerald dye. The shocked townsfolk attempted to communicate with the mysterious pair, but the children spoke no English nor any other recognizable tongue. They appeared disoriented and distressed, gesturing animatedly, but unable to explain their origins or plight. The kind-hearted villagers took pity on the lost creatures and welcomed them into their homes, hoping to unravel the riddle of their appearance. As the peculiar green children became reluctant celebrities in Woolpit, some claimed they must be fairies or forest sprites emerged from the depths of nearby woods. Others whispered that they were demons to be feared and shunned. The more pious decided the pair must be inhabitants of a subterranean Christian kingdom, somehow transported up to walk among mortals. Whoever they were, the children stubbornly clung to their unknown language and rejected all food except fresh bean pods, as if they'd never tasted anything else. While the little green boy sadly succumbed to sickness and malnutrition, his sister gradually adapted to her new home. As she slowly learned to speak English, the girl revealed a cryptic tale, claiming she and her sibling hailed from an underground realm called Saint Martin's Land. It was a shadowy place, she said, where the sun never shone and a strange green twilight tinted everything and everyone. One day, she and her brother were herding their father's cattle when they discovered a cave. Wandering inside, they followed the sound of ringing bells, traveling through darkness until they emerged into the blinding sunlight of Woolpit. Could there really be a hidden subterranean civilization connected to our surface world through secret passages? How else might these unnaturally verdant siblings have found their way to a remote English village? Were they truly from an alien land, or perhaps victims of abandonment or abuse, their green pallor the result of extreme malnourishment or arsenic poisoning? The many lingering questions only deepen the allure of this strange medieval mystery. The green girl is said to have eventually lost her unusual hue, married a local man, and lived out an ordinary life in the village of Foxhall. Yet her name and ultimate fate remain lost to history, leaving us to forever speculate about her true origins and experiences. Were the green children of Woolpit interdimensional wanderers, a product of mass hallucination, or merely a fanciful folktale that took on a life of its own? We may never know for certain, but their effect on our collective imagination is undeniable, an emerald-tinted reminder of life's many impenetrable mysteries in the Middle Ages and today. Speaking of unsettling enigmas, let us turn our attention now to the foreboding Château de Brissac, an elegant French castle concealing chilling secrets within its ancient walls. This magnificent 11th century chateau has weathered war, revolution, and the rise and fall of kings, all while harboring whispers of a grisly crime that still echoes through its opulent halls. In the late 1400s, the Château de Brissac bore witness to a gruesome act of passion and betrayal that would haunt it for generations to come. The victim was Charlotte of France, the illegitimate daughter of King Charles VII and his beloved mistress, Agnès Sorel. Beautiful and spirited, Charlotte was given in marriage to Jacques de Brézé, a wealthy noble and seneschal of Normandy. But it was a troubled union from the start. Jacques was a cruel and brutal man, prone to fits of jealous rage. He kept his young wife a virtual prisoner in his castle, monitoring her every move. But Charlotte's heart could not be contained. She soon fell deeply in love with one of her husband's most trusted huntsmen, Pierre de Lavergne. The pair embarked on a passionate affair, snatching furtive moments of happiness within the very walls of her marital prison. It was a perilous tryst, as discovery would mean certain death for them both under the unforgiving codes of the time. Alas, the desperate lovers could not evade Jacques' suspicions and spies forever. One fateful night, the furious Seigneur of Brissac returned from the hunt to catch his wife and her paramour in the throes of passion. In a fit of murderous rage, Jacques butchered both Charlotte and Pierre with his sword, their blood flooding the floorboards of the opulent bedchamber. So great was his anger and humiliation that Jacques left their mutilated bodies to rot for days before finally granting them a hasty, unceremonious burial. He then abandoned the castle, never to return to the scene of his crime. But according to legend, the tortured spirits of the illicit lovers linger still at the Château de Brissac, unable to rest in the wake of such a brutal demise. Over the centuries, countless guests and residents of the chateau have reported chilling encounters with Charlotte's ghost, known as La Dame Verte, or the Green Lady. She is said to appear in the castle's chapel, or roaming the halls in the dead of night, clad in a flowing green gown, her face a deathly shade of pale green. Those who glimpse her describe an overwhelming aura of sadness and unresolved pain that sends icy shivers down the spine. Some hear eerie moans and wails emanating from Charlotte's old apartments, as if she still mourns her tragic fate. Others awaken to find their bedroom filled with an unexplained green mist or the fleeting shadow of a human form. The current residents of the chateau, the noble Brissac family, are said to have peacefully coexisted with their resident spectre for years. The Green Lady even has her own designated seat at the family opera house. But perhaps the most sinister legacy of that dark night in 1477 is the enduring mystery it left behind. Charlotte's grisly murder was never officially solved, and the true nature of her relationship with the ill-fated huntsman remains a topic of much historical speculation. Was it true love that drew them together, or a calculated bid for freedom from her wretched marriage? How long had their dangerous liaison carried on before that fateful night? And what really drove Jacques de Brézé to such a brutal act of vengeance? We may never know the full truth behind the blood-soaked walls of the Château de Brissac, but Charlotte's restless spirit seems determined to keep the memory of her story alive, an immortal lament for love and life so cruelly cut short. Her ghostly visage serves as an otherworldly reminder that the past is never truly dead, and that the deepest mysteries of the heart may linger long after we depart this mortal coil. As we reflect on the myriad enigmas that haunt the misty landscapes of the Middle Ages, it's hard not to feel a profound sense of wonder and humility in the face of all we still do not understand. From the vanished princes in the tower to the green children of Woolpit, from the 9 Days Queen to the spectral Dame Verte, each tale reminds us how much of history remains veiled in shadow and speculation. These medieval mysteries offer a captivating window into a world both utterly foreign and strikingly familiar, where the borders between reality and legend often blur. They reveal a time when superstition held powerful sway, when the supernatural seemed to lurk around every corner, and when the vagaries of chance and cruelty could turn even the most celebrated lives into dark fables of misfortune. Yet in many ways, the people at the heart of these stories are not so different from us. Like the doomed lovers Charlotte and Pierre, they were driven by the same timeless human desires and frailties: love, lust, envy, ambition, revenge. Their enigmatic fates continue to move us because they speak to the strange and wondrous workings of the human heart that defy the boundaries of any one age. Perhaps that is the real power and pull of history's darkest puzzles. They remind us of all we still have to learn about our world and ourselves. They tug at the loose threads of our understanding, unraveling tidy narratives and inviting us to ponder the deeper meanings woven into the frayed tapestry of time. In the end, it is often the questions these mysteries raise, rather than any neatly packaged answers, that enrich our sense of the past and our place within its never-ending story. So as we drift off into the realm of dreams, let us carry with us a sense of gratitude for all those long-ago lives, forever entwined with our own, whose secrets and sorrows still whisper to us across the ages. May their enduring enigmas continue to nourish our empathy, our curiosity, and our ceaseless awe at the strangeness and beauty of the human experience, in all its many-chambered mystery. And may the lulling rhythms of history's unsolved riddles grant us safe passage to the shores of sleep, where we may wander a while longer through the mist-shrouded landscapes of the past, chasing the flickering lights of all we still yearn to know before the dawning of another day. As the sun set over Château de Brissac, long shadows stretched across the elegant stone walls, as if reaching out from the past. The magnificent castle, with its soaring towers and ornate facades, had stood for centuries in the tranquil French countryside. But within these ancient walls, a dark secret lay buried, a gruesome unsolved crime that that would haunt the chateau for generations to come. The year was 1477, and France was a land of great turmoil and strife. The 100 Years' War with England had finally ended, but the country remained riven by internal conflicts and power struggles. Amidst this tumultuous landscape, the Château de Brissac stood as a bastion of nobility and grandeur. The castle was home to Jacques de Brézé, a powerful nobleman and close ally of King Louis XI. Handsome, ambitious, and ruthless, Jacques was known throughout the land for his military prowess and his unwavering loyalty to the crown. But Jacques de Brézé was hiding a scandalous secret. His beautiful young wife, Charlotte of France, was engaged in a passionate love affair with one of Jacques' own huntsmen. The illicit romance had been carrying on for some time, right under Jacques' nose, in the very halls of his own castle. Whispers of the scandal began to circulate among the servants and courtiers, but none dared speak of it openly for fear of incurring the nobleman's terrible wrath. One fateful night, as legend tells, Jacques returned unexpectedly to the chateau from a hunting trip. The castle was strangely quiet and still, with an eerie, foreboding atmosphere. As he made his way through the darkened corridors, Jacques heard a noise coming from his wife's bedchamber. Instantly, he knew something was amiss. With mounting dread, he burst through the door to a horrific sight. There was his beloved Charlotte, entwined in the passionate embrace of her lowly huntsman lover. What happened next is shrouded in mystery and conflicting accounts. Some say that Jacques, blind with rage, murdered the two lovers on the spot with his hunting dagger. Others claim that he challenged Charlotte's lover to a duel and slew him in ferocious combat. But all the tales agree on the gruesome outcome. By the next morning, Charlotte of France and her illicit paramour were dead, their bodies left hideously mutilated. Jacques de Brézé would take the dark secret of that violent night to his grave. He quickly had the bodies quietly buried and forbade any mention of the scandalous incident. The nobleman resumed his duties in the royal court, projecting an air of icy calm and unreadable reserve. But from that time onward, it is said, a chilling presence haunted the halls of Château de Brissac, the anguished spectre of Charlotte of France, forever seeking justice for her brutal, unsolved murder. Over the centuries that followed, the ghost of the slain noblewoman became an integral part of the chateau's mythology. Countless witnesses, from castle servants to distinguished guests, claimed to have encountered Charlotte's restless spirit. She was most often seen in the chapel tower, drifting forlornly in a blood-stained white dress, her face twisted in sorrow and rage. The eerie sound of her mournful moans and sobs echoing through the ancient corridors became a familiar occurrence, sending chills down the spines of all who heard them. Even more disturbing were the reports of Charlotte's ghost actively seeking vengeance against those she believed had wronged her. There were whispered stories of castle guests being confronted by a spectral figure in the night, with Charlotte's spirit violently attacking those who dared to sleep in her old bedchamber. Some even claimed to have been throttled by icy, invisible hands, feeling the crushing pressure of Charlotte's rage around their throats. As the legend of Charlotte's haunting grew, so did the notoriety of Château de Brissac. The castle became known far and wide as one of the most haunted places in all of France, a stately old manor forever stained by a brutal, unsolved crime. Thrill seekers and paranormal enthusiasts flocked to the site, hoping to catch a glimpse of the famous ghost or experience her chilling presence for themselves. But even the most skeptical visitors often left shaken and unnerved, unable to explain the eerie, oppressive atmosphere that seemed to linger in the chateau's halls. Today, the ghost of Charlotte of France remains an iconic and enduring part of Château de Brissac's long history. Her story has been featured in countless books, films, and television programs, cementing her status as one of France's most famous and tragic spectres. And the chateau itself has become a popular tourist destination, with thousands of visitors each year braving its haunted halls and hoping to encounter the vengeful spirit of the murdered noblewoman. But despite all the attention and investigation, the true details of Charlotte's demise remain shrouded in mystery. The identity of her lover, the circumstances of their deaths, and the role played by the jealous Jacques de Brézé are all lost to history, leaving us with only tantalizing clues and enduring questions. Like so many unsolved crimes of the medieval era, the haunting of Château de Brissac may never be fully understood, its dark secrets forever sealed within its ancient stone walls. As we ponder the enduring enigma of Charlotte of France and her restless spirit, it's hard not to feel a sense of profound tragedy and loss. Her story is one of passion, betrayal, and horrific violence played out against the grand backdrop of a medieval castle. It speaks to the darkest aspects of human nature, the jealousies and rage that can drive even the most powerful among us to commit unspeakable acts. And yet, there is also a strange, bittersweet romance to the legend of Charlotte's ghost. In death, she has achieved a kind of immortality, her story and her spectral presence forever woven into the fabric of Château de Brissac. She has become an integral part of the castle's rich history, a tragic figure forever seeking justice and closure for the brutal crime that cut her life short. Perhaps that is the true power of these enduring medieval mysteries, their ability to capture our imaginations, to haunt our dreams, and to remind us of the timeless human dramas that have unfolded across the centuries. Whether it's the vanished princes in the Tower of London, the enigmatic green children of Woolpit, or the vengeful spectre of Charlotte of France, these unsolved cases continue to fascinate and intrigue us, inviting us to ponder their secrets and to marvel at the strange, often tragic twists of history. As we drift off to sleep, our minds filled with images of ghostly figures and ancient castles, it's comforting to remember that even the darkest mysteries of the past can serve to enrich and deepen our understanding of the human experience. For in the end, it is the stories we tell and the legends we create that give meaning and texture to the vast tapestry of history, weaving together the threads of the known and the unknown into a rich and endlessly fascinating whole. So let us embrace the mysteries and the unanswered questions, the haunting tales and the tragic ghosts. Let us allow them to lull us into the soothing embrace of slumber, secure in the knowledge that the secrets of the past will always be waiting for us, inviting us to explore their depths and to marvel at their strange and eternal allure. For in the end, it is the very impossibility of ever truly solving these ancient enigmas that makes them so endlessly captivating, so much a part of the timeless human story that connects us all across the centuries. As the ghostly tale of Château de Brissac fades into the mists of history, we find ourselves drawn onward, beckoned by the allure of yet another medieval enigma. Through the gathering shadows, a flicker of torchlight illuminates our path, guiding us deeper into the labyrinthine mysteries of the Middle Ages. Our next destination lies nestled in the heart of 15th century Rome, a city of grandeur and decadence, where the glittering trappings of wealth and power often concealed the darkest of secrets. Here, amidst the opulent palaces and winding alleyways, we uncover the perplexing demise of a young woman known as Tullia d'Aragona. Tullia was a remarkable figure, even by the standards of her extraordinary age. Born into poverty, she rose to become one of the most celebrated poets and courtesans of the Italian Renaissance. Renowned for her wit, beauty, and intellect, she captivated the hearts and minds of nobles, scholars, and artists alike. Yet for all her fame and influence, Tullia's life was shrouded in mystery, and her death even more so. The few tantalizing clues that have survived the centuries paint a picture as intriguing as it is incomplete. We know that in the year 1556, at the height of her prominence, Tulia abruptly vanished from the glittering social scene she had once dominated. Whispers abounded of a sudden illness, a clandestine love affair gone wrong, or perhaps even foul play at the hands of a jealous rival. And yet, no definitive answer has ever been found. Some say Tulia retreated to a convent, seeking solace in a life of quiet contemplation. Others claimed she fled Rome altogether, starting anew in a distant land under an assumed name. But the truth of her fate remains as elusive as the lady herself, lost to the relentless march of time. As we ponder the fragmentary pieces of Tulia's story, we are left to wonder what secrets she took with her to the grave. Did she simply tire of the constant intrigues and machinations of court life, choosing to slip away on her own terms? Or was she the victim of something far more sinister, a pawn sacrificed in a deadly game of power and control? These are questions that may never be fully answered, but they continue to exert a powerful hold on our imaginations, even now. For in the end, perhaps it is the very incompleteness of Tulia's tale that makes it so endlessly fascinating, a reminder of the myriad mysteries that lie hidden in history's shadows, waiting to be unveiled. As our thoughts linger on the enigmatic Tulia d'Aragona, we find our eyes growing heavy, our minds adrift on the currents of centuries past. The flickering torchlight dims, and the ancient streets of Rome fade into the gathering darkness of a deep, dreamless sleep. And so we surrender ourselves to the embrace of slumber, secure in the knowledge that the morning will bring with it new wonders to uncover, new secrets to unravel in the vast, ever-unfolding tapestry of human history. But for now, we rest, content to let the distant echoes of the past mingle with the gentle whispers of the night, carrying us onward into the waiting arms of oblivion. For in this moment, all the mysteries of the ages pale in comparison to the profound peace of a mind at ease, drifting on the timeless tides of sleep. And so we bid a fond farewell to the ghosts of old, secure in the knowledge that they will be waiting for us when we return, ready to guide us once more through the shadowed halls of history's forgotten tales. Good night, dear listener. May your dreams be filled with the soft glow of ancient wonders, and may the mysteries of the past forever light your way through the challenges of the present. Sleep well, and know that the magic of history will be here to greet you when you awake, as timeless and enduring as the stars themselves. As we delve deeper into the mists of medieval history, our journey takes us to the elegant halls of Château de Brissac in the picturesque Loire Valley of France. This majestic castle, with its soaring towers and ornate facades, has stood watch over the gentle French countryside for centuries. But beneath its tranquil exterior lies a dark and haunting past, forever marked by an unspeakable crime that echoes through the ages. Our story begins in the 15th century, during the tumultuous reign of King Charles VII. The Château de Brissac was then home to Jacques de Brézé, a powerful nobleman and trusted advisor to the king. Jacques was known throughout the land for his fierce temper and unwavering loyalty to the crown. He demanded the same devotion from those around him, including his young and beautiful wife, Charlotte of France. Charlotte was a woman of noble birth, with royal blood flowing through her veins. She was the illegitimate daughter of King Charles VII himself, born from a passionate affair with his mistress, Agnès Sorel. Despite her lofty status, Charlotte found herself trapped in a loveless marriage to Jacques de Brézé, a man nearly twice her age and known for his cruelty. As the years passed, Charlotte's loneliness and despair grew ever deeper. She yearned for true love and companionship, for an escape from the cold, unfeeling halls of Château de Brissac. It was in this vulnerable state that she found solace in the arms of another man, a handsome and charming courtier named Pierre de Lavergne. Their forbidden love affair blossomed in secret, hidden from the prying eyes of the court and the wrath of Jacques de Brézé. Charlotte and Pierre would meet in stolen moments, their hearts entwined in a dangerous dance of passion and deception. But in the treacherous world of medieval France, secrets rarely stayed buried for long. One fateful night, as Charlotte and Pierre lay entwined in a lover's embrace, the door to their chamber burst open with a thunderous crash. There, in the flickering candlelight, stood Jacques de Brézé, his eyes blazing with fury and betrayal. In his hand, he clutched a gleaming sword, the blade thirsting for blood. What happened next is lost to history, a tale whispered in hushed tones through the centuries. Some say that Jacques flew into a murderous rage, hacking Charlotte and Pierre to pieces in a frenzy of jealous anger. Others claim that the lovers were chased through the winding halls of the castle, their desperate pleas for mercy echoing off the ancient stones before being silenced forever. Whatever the truth may be, one thing is certain: Charlotte and Pierre's tragic love story came to a brutal and bloody end that night in Château de Brissac. Jacques de Brézé emerged from the castle a broken man, his hands forever stained with the blood of his wife and her lover. He spent the rest of his days consumed by guilt and regret, haunted by the ghosts of his own making. As for Charlotte and Pierre, their restless spirits are said to still wander the halls of Château de Brissac, forever seeking the peace and love they were denied in life. Visitors to the castle often speak of strange noises in the night, of footsteps echoing through empty corridors, and the mournful wail of a woman's voice on the wind. Most chilling of all are the reports of a ghostly figure known as the Green Lady, said to be the tormented spirit of Charlotte herself. She's often described as a beautiful young woman dressed in a flowing green gown, her face twisted in eternal anguish. Some have even claimed to see the gruesome wounds that ended her life, still visible on her pale, translucent form. Whether these ghostly sightings are mere legend or chilling glimpses into the afterlife, the tragic tale of Charlotte and Pierre remains an enduring mystery of medieval France. Their love story, cut short by the cruel hand of fate, has become a timeless reminder of the power of passion and the perils of forbidden desire. As we ponder the haunting enigma of Château de Brissac and the lives lost within its walls, we are left to wonder about the many secrets that lie buried in the annals of history. How many other tales of love, betrayal, and tragedy have been lost to time, their mysteries forever sealed in the silent stones of the past? Perhaps it is the very nature of these unsolved riddles that captivates us so deeply, the tantalizing glimpse into lives and worlds long gone. In the end, the true allure of medieval mysteries may lie not in the answers we seek, but in the questions they inspire us to ask about the human experience across the ages. As the gentle embrace of sleep begins to wrap around us, let us carry these meditations with us into the realm of dreams. There, in the boundless landscapes of our imaginations, we can roam the misty corridors of history, unraveling its secrets and bringing its long-forgotten stories to life once more. So let us drift off into the welcoming arms of slumber, our minds filled with visions of a time long past, where the line between truth and legend blurs like a distant horizon. And as we do, let us hold fast to the enduring power of the human spirit, forever seeking light in the darkness, hope in the face of adversity, and love in the shadow of fear. Good night, dear listeners, and may your dreams be filled with the whispered tales of ages gone by, gently guiding you to a place of rest and wonder in the timeless tapestry of history. As we delve further into the mists of medieval history, we come upon another beguiling tale, the haunting of Château de Brissac in the picturesque Loire Valley of France. Picture a stately castle rising majestically from the French countryside, its elegant spires and crenellated towers seemingly untouched by time. But within those ancient stone walls, a dark and unsolved mystery has lingered for centuries, whispering secrets of forbidden love, betrayal, and ghostly vengeance. The story begins in the late 15th century during the tumultuous reign of King Charles VIII. The monarch had arranged a strategic marriage between his half-sister, Charlotte of France, and Jacques de Brézé, a wealthy noble and seneschal of Normandy over twice her age. It was a familiar tale in those times, a political alliance forged to consolidate power, with little regard for the young bride's heart. Charlotte was a vibrant and strong-willed beauty, chafing at the confines of her loveless union to the severe and unaffectionate Jacques. She found solace in the arms of a dashing courtier named Pierre de Lavergne, and the two embarked on a passionate, illicit affair that set the court ablaze with scandalous whispers. One fateful evening, as Charlotte and Pierre rendezvoused in the castle's opulent bedchamber, Jacques unexpectedly returned from a hunting trip. Enraged to discover the lovers in his marital bed, the seneschal flew into a jealous fury, brutally stabbing them both to death with his sword in a crime of passion that shocked even the most jaded nobles. The grisly double murder was the talk of France. But despite the condemning evidence, Jacques evaded any legal consequences, his wealth and connections shielding him from justice. He quickly remarried and life went on at Château de Brissac, the blood-soaked crime gradually fading into the castle's long and often tragic history. But, according to legend, not all was forgotten or at peace within Brissac's halls. It's said that soon after that violent night, strange and unnerving phenomena began to plague the castle. Servants whispered of eerie green mists creeping along the corridors and anguished wails emanating from Charlotte's sealed bedchamber. Many claimed to have glimpsed the ghostly figure of a weeping young woman in a green dress, her face pale and twisted in eternal sorrow, gliding silently through the castle in the deep hours of the night. Could it be the tormented spectre of Charlotte of France herself, forever reliving the horror of her untimely demise? Over the centuries, these haunting reports persisted as Château de Brissac passed through noble hands, each new resident inheriting the unsettling legend along with the sprawling estate. Numerous guests are said to have fled the castle in terror after encountering Charlotte's restless spirit, their sleep shattered by her mournful sobs and the fleeting sight of her blood-streaked gown. Even to this day, Brissac is known as one of the most haunted castles in all of France, forever shadowed by the enduring mystery of that long-ago crime of passion. As we contemplate Charlotte of France's tragic fate and the ghostly enigma that followed, one can't help but wonder, what truly transpired on that fateful medieval night? Was it simply a crime of jealousy and rage? Or were there deeper motives and machinations at play? How did the influential Jacques de Brézé escape earthly justice for his brutal act? And if it is indeed Charlotte's melancholy spectre that still wanders Brissac's ancient corridors, what unresolved pain or longing binds her to the mortal realm, unable to rest across the long centuries? Like so many of the mysteries we've explored from the Middle Ages, we may never know the full truth behind the bloody events and eerie legends of Château de Brissac. The veil of history obscures as much as it reveals, leaving us forever intrigued by the unknowable secrets of the past. But perhaps that is part of what makes these enduring enigmas so alluring. The way they invite us to ponder, to imagine, to lose ourselves in the misty borderlands between fact and folklore. As the haunting tale of Charlotte of France and her restless ghost fades into the night, we find ourselves drifting deeper into the shadowlands of sleep. Our minds are swirl with visions of that stately French castle and the many untold stories that surely still echo through its time-worn chambers. The medieval world may be long vanished into the past, but its mysteries live on, waiting to be rediscovered and marveled at anew by each curious generation. What other secrets might still lie slumbering in history's darkened corners, ready to awaken our imaginations once again? But for now, let the lulling whispers of those long-ago enigmas carry us gently into the welcoming embrace of dreams, where the borders between the known and the unknowable blur and meld. There will be time enough to ponder history's unsolved puzzles another day, when the sun rises once more on the modern world, chasing the shadows of the past back into the misty realm of memory and legend. For tonight, we need only surrender to the timeless magic of a well-told tale and let the ever-turning wheel of history spin on, cradling us in the soothing arms of slumber. And so we come to the end of our journey through some of the medieval era's most captivating and perplexing unsolved mysteries. From the lost princes in the Tower to the green children of Woolpit, the haunted halls of Chateau de Brissac to the 9-day reign of Lady Jane Grey. Each tale has whispered to us from across the centuries, offering tantalizing glimpses into the fears, beliefs, and dreams of a world that can seem at once alien and achingly familiar. These enduring enigmas remind us of the complex tapestry of the human experience, the way that threads of love, loss, ambition, and sorrow are forever woven through the fabric of our shared history. They speak to the constants of the human heart that bind us across time and culture, our fascination with the unknown, our yearning to make sense of the world and our place within it, the way we craft stories and legends to explain the inexplicable. Perhaps that is the real magic and allure of these historical mysteries, not the promise of tidy resolutions or neatly tied loose ends, but rather the way they invite us to contemplate the vast and often inscrutable depths of the past. They remind us that for all our modern certainties and technological marvels, there is still so much about our world and our own history that eludes our understanding. So many tales left only half told, so many secrets taken to the grave, so many blank spaces on the map of human knowledge, waiting to be filled in by the boundless reaches of our imaginations. In the end, maybe the true wonder lies not in solving these age-old puzzles, but in marveling at their ability to captivate us still, centuries after the players have turned to dust. For as long as we continue to ponder the fates of the princes in the Tower or ghostly Charlotte of France, they remain alive in our collective consciousness, spectres of the past that yet walk among us, whispering their cryptic secrets to any who care to listen. And so, as we drift deeper into the welcoming embrace of sleep, let us carry these medieval mysteries with us into our dreams, not as burdens or frustrations, but as reminders of the eternal magic and mystery of the human story. The lure of the unknown will always be with us, calling us back to the shadows of history, inviting us to lose ourselves in the tales of those who came before. And in the end, perhaps that is enough, to simply marvel at the vastness and complexity of the past, and to find comfort in the knowledge that for all our differences, we are forever connected by the shared enigmas and experiences that make us human. Good night, dear listener, and pleasant dreams. May the unsolved mysteries of ages past dance softly through your slumbering mind, weaving tapestries of wonder and imagination to carry you through till morning's light. Rest now, and know that the secrets of history will be waiting for you when you wake, ready to be pondered anew with fresh eyes and an ever-curious heart. For the story of humanity is an endless one, forever unfolding in mist and shadow, and we are all just humble dreamers, adrift on the tides of time. As we delve further into the shadows of the Middle Ages, our journey takes us to the elegant halls of Chateau de Brissac in the tranquil Loire Valley of France. This grand castle, with its stately turrets and manicured gardens, has stood watch over the countryside for centuries. But within its ancient walls echo the whispers of a chilling unsolved crime that has haunted the chateau since the 1400s. The year was 1477, and the lady of the castle was the vivacious Charlotte of France, half-sister to King Louis XI. A strikingly beautiful young woman with a zest for life, Charlotte had recently been married to Jacques de Brézé, a wealthy nobleman twice her age. It was a typical arranged marriage of the time, designed to strengthen political alliances and consolidate power. But behind the facade of wedded bliss, tension simmered. Jacques was a fiercely possessive man, prone to fits of jealousy and suspicion. He kept a tight leash on his young bride, monitoring her every move and interaction. Charlotte, in turn, chafed under the suffocating constraints of her marriage. She longed for the freedom and passion of her carefree youth. It was a powder keg waiting to ignite. That fateful spark came in the form of one of Jacques's huntsmen, a handsome young man named Pierre de Lavergne. As the story goes, Charlotte and Pierre began a secret affair, stealing moments of forbidden love whenever they could. It was a dangerous game in a time when adultery was not only a sin, but a crime punishable by death. But the heart wants what it wants, and the two lovers threw caution to the wind. Late one evening, Jacques unexpectedly returned early from a hunting trip to discover the unthinkable, his wife in the throes of passion with his own servant. Blind with rage, Jacques allegedly drew his sword and brutally murdered the lovers on the spot, their blood staining the cold stone floor. The gruesome double homicide sent shockwaves through the court and countryside. But despite the nobleman's wealth and influence, the exact details of that fateful night remain shrouded in mystery to this day. Some accounts claim Charlotte and Pierre were killed in the chateau's tower. Others say in the marital bedchamber, and still others contend it happened in the chapel during unholy adultery. The number and severity of wounds on the murdered lovers also varies between retellings. Did Jacques catch the lovers in flagrante delicto, as the popular version describes? Or were the killings more premeditated, with a jealous husband lying in wait? With no surviving witnesses or reliable records from the time, we may never know the full truth of what transpired. What we do know is that Jacques de Brézé seems to have suffered little consequence for the murders due to his noble status and connections. In fact, he would go on to marry twice more and father several children, his reputation relatively unscathed. It appears Charlotte and her illicit lover were simply two more casualties of the often brutal medieval justice system, where the powerful could act with impunity. But according to local law, the spirits of the slain lovers still roam the halls of Château de Brissac, unable to rest after their untimely demise. Visitors and residents have reported hearing the anguished wails of Charlotte echoing from the tower in the dead of night, her spectral figure said to materialize in a blood-soaked green dress. The ghost of Pierre is also rumoured to make appearances in the darkened chapel, forever mourning his forbidden love. Whether these sightings are fact or fantasy, the tragic tale of Charlotte and Pierre has become inextricably woven into the haunted history of the chateau. Today, it is considered one of the most spirited castles in all of France, drawing curious visitors from around the world. But as one wanders the ancient corridors and candlelit chambers, it's impossible not to feel the weight of the centuries-old secrets embedded in the stones. The story of the star-crossed lovers is a poignant reminder of the darker chapters of the Middle Ages, an era when brutality often trumped justice, and women had little agency over their own lives. Charlotte and Pierre's unsolved demise may have faded into the mists of time, but their memories linger on as a grim testament to the sometimes savage realities of medieval love and marriage. As we bid farewell to the haunting mysteries of Château de Brissac and reflect on the morbid enigmas that have shaped its legacy, one can't help but wonder how many other untold tales lie buried in the annals of history. The Middle Ages were a time of great turmoil and upheaval, when superstition reigned supreme and the line between the earthly and supernatural was often blurred. From the tragic disappearance of the princes in the tower to the perplexing fate of Lady Jane Grey, the unexplained appearance of the Green Children of Woolpit, to the ghostly legends of Château de Brissac, these enduring medieval mysteries offer a tantalizing glimpse into a world very different from our own, a world where life was often nasty, brutish and short, and where the truth could be stranger than fiction. But perhaps, what makes these enigmas so captivating is not just their eerie circumstances or lack of tidy resolutions. In many ways, they serve as a mirror reflecting back to us the universal human struggles that transcend time and place. The desire for power, the ache of forbidden love, the fear of the unknown. These are themes that still resonate deep within us today, even as we grapple with the complexities of the modern world. In the end, the unsolved mysteries of the Middle Ages remind us that for all our technological advancements and accumulated knowledge, there is still so much about our past and our own human nature that remains shrouded in shadow. They beckon us to peer into the void and confront the darker corners of our history, inviting us to ponder the stories that have been lost to time and the secrets that may never be fully unraveled. And so, as we drift off into the realm of dreams, let us carry with us the haunting tales of ages past, the whispers of long-dead kings and queens, the echoes of love and loss, the enduring riddles of the human experience. For it is in the contemplation of these ancient enigmas that we may just catch a fleeting glimpse of our own reflection in the mists of time. These are the morbid unsolved mysteries of medieval times, forever etched into the fabric of history, forever destined to intrigue and unsettle us from across the centuries. May their secrets continue to captivate the imaginations of generations to come, inviting us to venture ever deeper into the labyrinthine depths of the human story. And with that, we gently close the chapter on our journey through the Middle Ages, letting the weight of history lull us into a restful slumber. Good night, dear listener, and may your dreams be filled with the haunting echoes of ages past, softly beckoning you to unravel the mysteries that lie hidden within. As the sun sinks slowly over the medieval countryside, and the long shadows of castles stretch across the land, we find ourselves drawn once more into the enigmatic realm of centuries past. In this twilight world, where the line between history and legend blurs, we embark on a journey through some of the most captivating and morbid unsolved mysteries of the Middle Ages. Our journey begins in the tumultuous heart of 15th century England, a land riven by the bloody wars of the Roses. The year is 1483, and the kingdom is thrown into turmoil by the sudden death of King Edward IV. His eldest son and heir, the 12-year-old Edward V, is set to ascend to the throne under the protection of his uncle, Richard, Duke of Gloucester. But the young prince's reign is destined to be brief and shrouded in mystery. Along with his younger brother Richard, Edward is swiftly taken to the Tower of London, ostensibly in preparation for his coronation. However, as the weeks slip by and the boys remain unseen, whispers begin to circulate through the court and the streets of London. Where are the princes? Why have they not emerged from the tower? As the questions mount, so too does the sense of unease and suspicion. Months pass with no sign of the princes, and their fate becomes one of the most enduring and haunting unsolved mysteries of the medieval era. The last confirmed sighting of the boys was in the late summer of 1483, playing together in the Tower Gardens. After that, they simply vanished from the pages of history, never to be seen alive again. In their absence, their uncle Richard seizes the throne for himself, becoming King Richard III. Rumours swirl that he had the princes murdered to secure his own grip on power. Others whisper that they were spirited away to safety, hidden from the machinations of the court. Still others speculate that they fell victim to some unknown fate, forever lost in the mists of time. The mystery only deepens in 1674, nearly 2 centuries later, when workmen at the tower unearth a small wooden box containing 2 small human skeletons. Could these be the remains of the lost princes? The question has captivated historians and amateur sleuths alike for centuries, spawning countless books, theories, and even modern forensic investigations. But despite all the speculation and scrutiny, the truth remains as elusive as ever. The princes in the tower stand as silent sentinels of a bygone age, their disappearance an eternal riddle that continues to haunt our collective imagination. As we ponder this enduring enigma, we find ourselves transported to another dark corner of England's history, and the tragic tale of Lady Jane Grey, the so-called 9 Days Queen. Born into a noble family with royal connections, Jane was a precocious child, known for her intelligence and scholarly pursuits. But her life took a tumultuous turn in 1553, when the dying young King Edward VI named her as his successor, bypassing his half-sisters Mary and Elizabeth. At just 16 years old, Jane was thrust onto the throne, a pawn in a deadly game of power played between rival factions at court. Her reign, as the name suggests, was brief. A mere 9 days before Mary Tudor mustered her forces and claimed the crown for herself. Jane was imprisoned in the Tower, the same ancient fortress that had swallowed the princes all those years before. For months, Jane languished in captivity, her fate hanging in the balance as Mary debated whether to spare her life or make an example of this upstart rival. In the end, Jane's fate was sealed by her father's participation in a failed rebellion against the new queen. On a cold February morning in 1554, she was led to the executioner's block within the Tower grounds, meeting her end with a composure and grace that belied her tender years. But even in death, Jane remained an enigma. Her last days in the Tower are shrouded in mystery and conflicting accounts. Some say she remained steadfast in her Protestant faith, spending her final hours in prayer and scholarly reflection. Others whisper of a young woman overwhelmed by fear and despair, her spirit broken by the machinations of those who had used her for their own ends. Like the princes before her, Jane's story has become a touchstone for countless historical debates and artistic interpretations, from paintings to plays to novels. Her brief, tragic life serves as a reminder of the precariousness of power in an age where even the mightiest could be brought low by the shifting winds of fortune. As the night deepens and we drift further into the realm of slumber, our journey takes an even stranger turn, to the quaint English village of Woolpit, nestled in the rolling hills of Suffolk. The year is 1135, and the villagers are about to encounter a mystery that will endure for centuries to come. The story goes that one warm summer day, as the villagers were out working in the fields, they stumbled upon two young children, a boy and a girl, emerging from one of the ancient wolf pits that gave the village its name. But these were no ordinary children. Their skin was tinged an eerie green, and they spoke an unknown language that none could comprehend. The children were taken in by a local landowner, Sir Richard de Calne, who set about trying to unravel the mystery of their origins. As the days passed, the girls slowly began to learn English, and fragments of their story started to emerge. They claimed to have come from a land called Saint, Martin's Land, where the sun never shone and everything was green. They had been herding their father's cattle when they stumbled upon a cave, and drawn by the sound of bells, followed the tunnel until they emerged into the blinding light of Woolpit. The story of the green children of Woolpit has captivated people for nearly a millennium, inspiring countless theories and explanations. Some believe they may have been Flemish orphans, displaced by war or famine, their strange appearance and language the result of malnutrition and isolation. Others see in their tale echoes of ancient Celtic folklore, of fairies and changelings and hidden otherworlds. But perhaps the most intriguing theory is that the children were accidental time travelers, wayward wanderers from some distant future or parallel world. Their green hue, some speculate, could have been the result of an unfamiliar atmosphere or exposure to alien elements. Their unknown language, a tongue evolved beyond recognition, Whatever the truth may be, the Green Children of Woolpit remain one of the most beguiling and enduring mysteries of the Middle Ages. Their story serves as a reminder that, even in the most mundane corners of history, there are tales that defy explanation, enigmas that continue to tease and tantalize us from across the centuries. As the first pale light of dawn begins to seep into the sky, we come to the final destination on our journey, the imposing Château de Brissac, nestled in the lush countryside of France's Loire Valley. Built in the 11th century, this grand castle has been the seat of the noble Brissac family for generations, its elegantly appointed rooms and sweeping gardens a testament to the wealth and power of its inhabitants. But beneath the veneer of aristocratic refinement, the Château de Brissac harbours a dark secret, a grim, unsolved crime from the late 15th century that has left an indelible mark on the castle's history and reputation. The year was 1477, and the lord of the manor was Jacques de Brézé, a noted hunter and close confidant of King Louis XI. Jacques had been married for several years to Charlotte of France, the king's own cousin, a beautiful young woman with a rebellious streak. It was an unhappy union, marked by Charlotte's frequent absences from the castle and whispers of her extramarital dalliances. One fateful night, Jacques returned unexpectedly from a hunting trip to find Charlotte in the arms of another man. In a fit of rage, he drew his sword and stabbed both lovers to death, their blood staining the cold stone floor of the bedchamber. The crime sent shockwaves through the French court, but Jacques' close relationship with the king ensured that he faced no legal consequences for the murders. Instead, he continued to live in the castle, a dark and brooding presence haunting its halls. But according to legend, Jacques was not the only one to remain in the Château de Brissac after that fateful night. The ghost of Charlotte, known as La Dame Verte, or the Green Lady, for the emerald hue of her spectral gown, is said to still wander the castle, her mournful wails echoing through the ancient corridors. Over the centuries, countless visitors and residents of the chateau have reported encounters with the ghostly Charlotte. Some claim to have seen her gliding silently through the grand ballroom, her face a mask of sorrow. Others speak of hearing her anguished sobs emanating from the bedchamber where she met her untimely end. Despite countless investigations and attempts to explain the phenomena, the haunting of the Château de Brissac remains a mystery. Is it the restless spirit of Charlotte, forever seeking justice for her murder? A manifestation of the guilt and grief that permeated the castle walls after the crime? Or simply the product of centuries of overactive imaginations and spooky tales told by candlelight? As with so many of the unsolved mysteries we've explored in our journey through the Middle Ages, the truth remains elusive, lost to the mists of time. But perhaps that is part of their enduring allure, the way they invite us to ponder, to speculate, to let our minds wander down the shadowy paths of history. For in the end, it is the stories that endure, the tales that continue to captivate and intrigue us long after the players have left the stage. These morbid mysteries, with their heady blend of the macabre and the unknown, serve as a reminder of the complex tapestry of human experience, the darkness and the light, the fear and the wonder that have shaped our species since the dawn of time. And so, as we drift off into the waiting arms of slumber, we carry with us the echoes of these ancient enigmas, the lost princes, the tragic queen, the ethereal green children, and the ghostly lady of Brissac. They are threads in the rich and endlessly fascinating web of our shared history, reminders that even in the darkest corners of the past, there is always some new mystery waiting to be unraveled, some new story waiting to be told. Good night, dear listener, and may your dreams be filled with the soft, whispering echoes of history's most captivating secrets. Until our next journey into the shadows of the past, sleep well. As the tumultuous 15th century unfolded across England, another perplexing mystery was brewing. one that would haunt the pages of history and the halls of a grand French chateau for centuries to come. Our story now transports us from the towers of London to the elegant Château de Brissac, nestled in the picturesque Loire Valley. But beneath the castle's stately exterior lay dark secrets and tragic tales waiting to be unearthed. The year was 1462, and the Château de Brissac was home to Jacques de Brézé, a nobleman serving as Grand Seneschal of Normandy under King Charles VII of France. Jacques had married Charlotte of France, the king's own daughter, from his illicit affair with Agnès Sorel. Despite her royal pedigree, poor Charlotte found herself trapped in a loveless union, her husband widely known for his cruelty and debauchery. One fateful evening, as shadows lengthened across the chateau's courtyards, Jacques returned home unexpectedly from a hunt. Enraged, he discovered Charlotte in the arms of another man. Blinded by fury, Jacques unsheathed his sword and brutally murdered the lovers on the spot, their blood soaking into the cold stone floors. The identity of Charlotte's paramour that night remains an intriguing historical mystery. Some whisper it was the lord of a nearby castle, or perhaps a dashing knight who had captured the lonely princess's heart. As word of the grisly double murder spread, it is said that King Charles VII was so distraught over his beloved daughter's death that he could not bear to look upon her husband and banished him from the royal court. Jacques retreated in shame to his family estate, a broken man. But though he escaped earthly punishment, dark legends suggest his soul would find no rest. According to local lore, it was not long before chilling phenomena began to plague the Château de Brissac. Servants spoke in hushed tones of a spectral green lady wandering the halls at night, her face contorted in agony, her blood-stained gown trailing behind her. Many believed this tortured apparition to be none other than the slain princess, Charlotte, forever seeking justice for her brutal demise. Over the centuries that followed, countless residents and guests of the castle claimed unnerving encounters with the Green Lady. Some even whispered that the ghost of Jacques de Brézé himself had been spotted stalking the shadowy corridors, forever condemned to relive the heinous crime he committed in a fit of mad rage. Tales spread of eerie wails and bone-chilling screams echoing from the chateau's tower in the depths of night, an unsettling soundscape that some attributed to the restless spirits of Charlotte and her mysterious lover. As the Renaissance dawned and the Middle Ages faded into history, the unsolved murder at Château de Brissac endured as a captivating, if macabre, piece of local folklore. Paranormal enthusiasts and history buffs alike found themselves drawn to the castle, eager to unravel the truth behind the enduring legend of the Green Lady. Yet despite countless investigations and speculation over the centuries, the full story of what transpired that fateful night remains cloaked in secrecy. The identity of Princess Charlotte's lover, the true motives behind Jacques de Brézé's violent act, and the origins of the chateau's haunting, all enduring riddles lost to the mists of time. Today, the Château de Brissac still stands, an imposing testament to a bygone age of chivalry and brutality. Now a grand hotel, its opulent rooms and manicured gardens entice visitors from around the globe, many drawn by the allure of its ghostly past. The Green Lady is said to make her presence known to this day, a chilling reminder of the castle's dark history and the doomed romance that ended in blood so many centuries ago. As we ponder the fate of Charlotte of France and her unnamed lover, it's impossible not to feel a pang of tragedy for the young lives so violently cut short, and a sense of awe at the enduring power of their story. Though the truth may be forever lost, tales of love, betrayal, and ghostly vengeance like this have an undeniable grip on our imaginations, ensuring that the mysteries of the past are never truly forgotten. So the next time you find yourself lying awake at night, your mind drifting to ages long gone, spare a thought for the ill-fated lovers of Chateau de Brissac and the many secrets they took to their untimely graves. In the annals of history and the human heart, some stones are perhaps meant to remain forever unturned, their truths waiting just beyond our grasp in the realm of dreams and shadows. And with that, we near the end of our journey through the morbid and mysterious corners of medieval history. Each tale we've explored, from the vanished princes in the tower to the Green Lady of Brissac, reminds us of the thin veil between the known and the unknown, and how the most captivating enigmas are often those that stubbornly refuse to yield their secrets. In a world so often consumed by the quest for certainty and the hunger for answers, there is perhaps a strange comfort to be found in the unsolved puzzles of the past. They remind us of the vastness and complexity of the human experience across time, and of the humbling limits of our own understanding. As we let these medieval mysteries lull us into slumber tonight, may we find solace in the knowledge that for every question answered by history's relentless march, a dozen more arise to take its place. An eternal dance of light and shadow that has captivated the minds of men for centuries gone by, and centuries yet to come. The ghosts of ages past may whisper to us in our dreams, but their deepest secrets remain forever their own, a constant reminder of the ineffable magic and mystery that lies at the very heart of the human story. And so, as we drift off to sleep, let us bid good night to the lost princes and tragic queens, the green-skinned orphans and spectral ladies of ancient lore, secure in the knowledge that though their mysteries may never be solved, their stories will echo in our collective memory for all time. Sweet dreams, dear listener, and may the mysteries of yesteryear bring you a strange and wondrous peace as you slumber. For in the realm of dreams, all the secrets of history are yours to keep, and every enigma finds its answer in the boundless depths of your imagination. Until our next nightly foray into the shadows of the past, sleep well and dream of ages gone by, where the line between fantasy and reality wavers like a flickering candle flame, dancing to the siren song of history's untold tales. As the flickering candlelight dances across the stone walls, we find ourselves transported back to the halls and chambers of medieval France, where another haunting, unsolved mystery awaits our exploration tonight. Chateau de Brissac, a majestic castle nestled in the picturesque Loire Valley, holds within its elegant facade a dark and tragic past that echoes through the centuries. The year is 1462, and the castle is home to Jacques de Brézé, a nobleman serving as a Grand Seneschal of Normandy under King Charles VII of France. Jacques has taken as his wife the beautiful Charlotte of France, the illegitimate daughter of King Charles VII himself. Their union is one of political expedience, a marriage arranged to strengthen alliances and secure power. But love, as it so often does, has a way of complicating even the most carefully laid plans. Unbeknownst to her husband, Charlotte has fallen deeply in love with another man, a young huntsman employed by the castle. Though his name is lost to history, the depth of their forbidden passion would soon become the stuff of dark legend. For Jacques de Brézé, a man fiercely protective of his honor and reputation, such a betrayal could not go unanswered. One fateful night, as Charlotte and her lover lay entwined in a clandestine embrace within the castle walls, Jacques burst into the bedchamber, his rage a palpable force. With a swift and brutal fury, he unsheathed his sword and murdered the two lovers where they lay. The huntsman met his end swiftly, but for Charlotte, Jacques had a crueler fate in mind. In a single blow, he sliced open her throat from ear to ear, forever silencing her cries and staining the floor with her noble blood. As the grim scene lay before him, Jacques turned wordlessly and fled the castle, leaving the cooling bodies of his wife and her lover locked in a macabre eternal embrace. The reason for his abrupt departure and his ultimate fate remain a mystery to this day. Some say he was driven mad by the weight of his own vengeful actions, others that he sought redemption on a holy pilgrimage. Whatever the truth, the castle walls would never again bear witness to his presence. But even as Jacques disappeared into the mists of history, the ghosts of that bloody night lingered still in Château de Brissac. Throughout the ensuing centuries, countless tales have emerged of Charlotte's restless spirit wandering the halls, her mournful wails echoing through the night. Visitors and residents alike have reported the eerie sight of a woman in green, believed to be Charlotte, her ghostly beauty marred by the gaping wound across her throat. As recently as the 20th century, guests staying in the opulent Room of the Guards have been shaken from their slumber by the anguished sounds of a woman's screams piercing the darkness. Could it be Charlotte, forever reliving the terror and pain of her final moments? Or are these merely the imaginings of suggestible minds, spurred on by the tragic tale that permeates the chateau's very stones? Like so many of the unsolved mysteries we've explored in our journey through the Middle Ages, the truth behind the haunting of Château de Brissac may never be fully unravelled. The key figures in this dark drama, Charlotte, her huntsman lover, and the vengeful Jacques, all took their secrets to the grave, leaving us to forever speculate and wonder at the depths of love, betrayal, and ghostly vengeance. As the first light of dawn begins to peek through the castle windows, and our own weary eyes start to drift closed, we are left to ponder the enduring power of these medieval enigmas. From the missing princes in the Tower of London to the ghostly wails of Château de Brissac, these unsolved mysteries continue to captivate and haunt us across the centuries. Perhaps it is the very nature of their uncertainty that lends them such lasting allure. In a world where so much of history is neatly documented and explained, these lingering questions allow our imaginations to roam free, constructing our own narratives and theories. They serve as a reminder of the complexity of the human experience, the depths of emotion and motivation that can drive people to acts of greatness or despair. As we prepare to surrender to the embrace of sleep, let us carry with us a newfound appreciation for the rich tapestry of medieval history, woven through with glimmers of the unknown. For in the end, it is often the mysteries that endure, long after the facts have faded into the mists of time. So rest now, dear listener, and let your dreams be filled with the echoes of a distant age, the green-skinned children of Woolpit, the tragic Lady Jane Grey, the ghostly wails of Charlotte of France. And know that even as we slumber, these unsolved mysteries will be waiting for us, ready to whisper their secrets once more when next we meet. Until then, good night, and may your journeys through the annals of history be ever filled with wonder, even in the darkest of times. As the morning light filtered through the elegant windows of Château de Brissac, it illuminated a gruesome scene that would become seared into local legend for centuries to come. There, lying in a pool of crimson, were the lifeless bodies of Charlotte of France and her secret lover. The silence was deafening as shocked onlookers took in the macabre tableau. Who had committed this heinous act, and why? Even today, over 500 years later, no one knows for certain. Charlotte was the illegitimate daughter of King Charles VII, born from his illicit love affair with his beautiful mistress, Agnès Sorel. Despite her father's efforts to arrange a respectable marriage for her, Charlotte's heart belonged to a lowly page in the service of the powerful Jacques de Brézé, seigneur of the chateau. When the seigneur discovered the clandestine romance, his rage knew no bounds. According to most historical accounts, de Brézé flew into a jealous fury upon finding the two lovers together and murdered them on the spot, brutally stabbing them dozens of times. The grief-stricken king had his chamberlain imprisoned for the crime, but he was later pardoned and released. The true circumstances of that fateful morning remain wreathed in mystery. Some whispered that the king himself had ordered the killing to prevent a scandal from tainting the royal family's reputation. Others claimed that Charlotte's husband had discovered her betrayal and murdered the lovers in a fit of passion. Over the centuries, darker rumors arose of occult rituals and blood sacrifices gone wrong within the castle walls. But with no surviving witnesses or definitive evidence, the truth has been lost to time. In the years that followed, chilling reports began to circulate of Charlotte's restless spirit haunting the chateau's opulent chambers. Visitors spoke of eerie wails echoing through the halls, the sensation of an unseen presence watching from the shadows, and the flickering figure of a woman in a blood-spattered green dress. To this day, the Green Lady of Chateau de Brissac is said to roam the castle, forever seeking justice for her untimely demise. As the centuries passed, each generation added new layers to the legend, embellishing the tale with fresh details and suppositions. But at its core, the story remains one of forbidden love, jealousy, betrayal, and a horrific crime for which no one was ever brought to justice. Like so many of the unsolved mysteries we've explored from the medieval world, the truth lies hidden behind a tangled thicket of secrets. These enigmatic cases offer a glimpse into the fears, beliefs, and daily struggles of people centuries ago. Their lives were in many ways quite alien to our modern sensibilities. And yet, when you sift through the fragments of history, you start to recognize glimmers of our common humanity, the same love, loss, intrigue, and hunger to understand that have defined the human experience in every age. Each of these mysteries is like a window into the past, inviting us to step into long-forgotten scenes, if only for a moment. The tense hush of the Tower of London as the princes vanished into the night. The eerie appearance of those green children in Woolpit, speaking a language no one could comprehend. And the horrified faces of those who stumbled onto that bloody scene in Chateau de Brissac. In the end, perhaps it's the not knowing that captivates us most. By leaving the final chapter unwritten, these historical enigmas invite us to ponder, to question, to let our imaginations wander down the shadowed paths of what might have been. And as we drift deeper into the realm of sleep, they become the stuff of dreams, forever unsolved, forever fascinating. And so we come to the end of our journey through some of the medieval era's most enduring mysteries. But the wonderful thing about history is that it's full of such tales, strange, tragic, beguiling, waiting to be rediscovered by curious minds. So as you settle into your pillow tonight, remember, this is just a sampling of the boundless trove of stories out there. If you've enjoyed exploring these medieval enigmas, consider subscribing to Channel Name for more soothing nighttime delves into the captivating world of history. There are always more secrets to uncover, more tales to drowsily ponder as you drift off into the waiting arms of sleep. Until next time, listener, good night, and may your dreams be filled with all the endless wonders of the past.